All right, guys, we're going ahead and recording now. Welcome to the call, guys. We're going to have an impactful training teaching you guys exactly how to show the plan and be effective when you're doing that, because you can show the plan. Anybody can show the plan. But if you're effective, that's what's going to get people to actually sign up. And it's not about, doing things a certain way. It's just about your confidence when you're doing things. But there is a certain way when it comes down to actually recording the plan, doing the plan effectively, that I believe that's been working. I've been showing the plan like this for a minute now. Some people that's on the call right now, you probably seen me share the plan, and that's what initially got you to actually get started. You was like, you know what, he's telling it all. He's not holding anything back. He seems real genuine. He seems like somebody that keeps it real, right? Not somebody that's gonna sit up here and just lie, right? So now, I'm gonna teach you guys exactly how I did it, and it came over trial and error. I don't expect you guys to just get on top of the screen and show the plan effectively immediately. Like that, I don't expect that, because my first time showing the plan was actually in person. So imagine how nervous I was when I actually started showing the plan. See, if there was 18 people on the call, right, when I first got started, I would have choked up, right? But, now it's to the point where I'm like, you know what, it's okay, because I can actually speak publicly now because I got those reps in. So it all comes through with the reps. You doing the plan, you showing the plan, you got to fail forward. You got to be that type of individual that's like, you know what, I'm going to go into this, and, I might fail. And if I fail, I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm just going to charge it to the game, because I know eventually I'll be able to show the plan effectively. Like, there was times I used to show the plan, and, my mentor would text me back like, yo, bro, that was kind of cool, but you got to do this, this, and that. And then, every single time it kind of felt like I had to do something different, right? But after a while, I got to the point where I was just showing the plan effectively, and people was literally, getting started, right? So with that being said, family, hold on. So with that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and go straight into it. So the first thing that I do, right, you got to make sure that you get on the call, I'll say like 7 minutes before. You got to make sure that you get on the call 7 minutes before, because what needs to happen is, guys, you guys got to make sure that you guys actually go to YouTube. Here, let me go. Well, you guys have to go to YouTube and then type in, 10-minute electric countdown. All right, 10-minute electric countdown. And I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. Hold on, just give me a second while I pull it up. But 10-minute electric countdown, and you want to start the call at 5 minutes before the call. Like, you want to have that thing playing 5 minutes before the call, right? You don't want to have it playing, as soon as the time starts. You don't want to hop on the call at 4 o'clock if the call starts at 4 o'clock. Anytime that I really do a training, I'm the first one on the call, because I understand you're not trying to catch the people that hop on the call at 4 p.m. or 4:01 or 4:02. You want to catch the people that hop on the call at 3:55, because successful people show up on time, right? You gotta have that mindset that, you're trying to catch the people that shows up early, because those people are taking it a little bit more seriously, right? They didn't have to get reminded that, hey, it's 4 o'clock, hop on the call. They're like, I'm hungry for this information. I'm going to hop on the call early. But if they hop on the call, right, and now, and how it is now, if the host isn't on the call, so you want to make sure, so now it's to the point where, we have to actually have the host on the call in order for me on the call, in order for you to hop on the call. So that doesn't mean that you hop on the call at 3:55, you hop on the call at like 3:53, and if I'm not on, you tell me like, hey, bro, can you go ahead and text me, and then I'll get you the host, and now you're the host of the call, and you can do this type of stuff. So you're going to type in 10-minute countdown. And what I do, I'm the master of promotion, right? I'm the master of promotion. If you see, in the group chats, I'm constantly promoting any call that I'm doing, right? Constantly promoting any call that I'm doing. I don't care how, I'm dropping it, hours before, right? I'm dropping it either a day before, then I'm dropping it hours before, then I'm dropping it 2 hours, 1 hour, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It doesn't matter, but I always make sure that I do the 15 minutes, right? I just promote heavily for the call. So just in case somebody didn't see it, because there's a lot of people in the group chats, right? People are at work and doing all this type of stuff. You want to be able to accommodate for everybody. You want to make sure that you're dropping in the chats like the night before, right? So I'm doing the call this time. I'm getting flyers made for everybody that's showing the plan this week, right? But what we're doing is we're promoting so that everybody understands that there's a call happening and they can reach out to their people to actually get them on the call. If you don't promote for your call, you're going to jump in, you're going to see like 3 people on the call. You, your mentor, and somebody else that ended up hopping on the call last minute. But if you don't promote, nobody in the group chats is going to know that there's an op call, right? Because people, I mean, even though the schedule is set in stone, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m., 12 a.m. Eastern, that's 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and 9 p.m. Pacific, people will still hop in the group chats and ask if there's an op call going on, right? So people, like, you got to make sure that you're actually like promoting for the call, regardless if you think, well, it's always said that it's 12, 3, 6, and 9, people still will ask questions. So you got to make sure that everybody's on the same page, right? So with that being said, that's promotion. That's the beginning of the call. You want to make sure that you're hopping on the call. And let's go here, right? So this is the screen that I'm sharing right now, right? So what you're going to do is, let me go ahead and see something. Okay, so so this is the time that you're going to do it on, right? You're going to do it on the electric 10-minute timer. You don't want to get on the call and start playing the music that you like, right? You don't want to get on the call and start playing Baby. You don't want to get on the call and start playing, you know, Future or whatever the case may be is, because there's somebody on the call that probably doesn't like that music, right? So, you know, you want to be able to accommodate for everybody, right? And you play this electric music because it's kind of like, you know, it gets you hyped up and things like that, right? So you want to play this countdown at 5 minutes before the call. So your screen needs to be shared 5 minutes before the call, and you need to already have this up, right? So cool, now that we got that established, right? Once the call is done, once this is done, you want to make sure that you actually stop sharing your screen, and then you want to show your face and actually welcome everybody to the call. See, if you're the only one that's doing the call, you gotta do both things. If you're just hosting the call, this is what you do. Right? If you're just new and you're just starting to show the plan, this is exactly what you would do, right? And then once you get started, you're gonna actually say, you know, welcome everybody to the call. I hope you guys are having a blessed day, right? I want to thank you guys for, you know, taking the most valuable asset, which is your time, and actually hopping on here and hearing this information, right? So after you say all that, you're gonna actually give a little bit of introduction about yourself. So me personally, when I get started, I say, you know, welcome to the call, guys. Always make sure that you're smiling. If you look like you're depressed, nobody's gonna join your business, right? You gotta smile. You gotta show that you're happy, right? Regardless of how you feel, you gotta hop on that call and act like you just hit $10,000 in the trade, right? So you hop on the call, you're really excited, right? You're pumped up, right? You're saying, welcome to the call, guys. You know, I appreciate you guys for actually hopping on. Before I get into the real information, I want to tell a little bit about myself, because we are going to be talking about finances, and I really do think that it's important to actually share who it is that I am, right? So then you're going to say, you know, my name is Jamal Mortimer, and this is the most important part. You need to share your story. Stop trying to make it like you're just the most successful person in the world. You want to show what you went through, right? Show the trials and tribulations. Right? When I used to show the plan, I used to tell everything. And I used to go through my story like a good 10 minutes, and it was like bad. That's something that my mentor told me to cut down. So I try to keep my story about 5 minutes long. And I tell people about like where I was at before this opportunity, my reason why I started, right? The reason why I started, and then how it's been able to impact my life since then, right? So I talk about, you know, how I was working at Boeing for 2.5 years, making, you know, a lot of money at Boeing, but I was working 10 to 12 hours a day, and I didn't like anybody that was at my job, right? I didn't like all this other type of stuff, right? And honestly, I felt like I stumbled across this opportunity. I tell them the exact day. I remember when I got started. I remember the start date that I got started, right? And then you also it doesn't matter when you got started. Like if you got started like 2 weeks ago, I don't know if you should say that, but if you got started last month, 2 months ago, whatever the case may be is, say when you got started. Honestly, I wouldn't even care, honestly, if you did say that you got started 2 weeks ago, especially if you made money. That is key. If you're on the call talking about how you just got started and you've already made money, right? So then you say, you know, I used to work at Amazon. I used to work at the airport, or I still work at the airport, right? You already have your quitting date, or whatever the case may be, guys. You know, I got started with this because I was literally seeing like them cutting my hours at work, and, you know, bills was tight. I wasn't able to live the life that I wanted, and I was just looking for something extra, right? And I got started with this off of a leap of faith, and literally after I got started, like 2 days after I got started, I literally had, you know, my first $500 day. I had my first, you know, $600 day. I had my first $100 day. I had my first $200 day, and I was like, wait, you know, I'm getting paid through this more fast than I do at the job, but I get paid more than I get paid at a job, right? So you want to compare that whole thing, and then don't make it too long at all, but then you just share your story, right? You just share your story, and then you go on. So I say personally, my transition is like, I can sit up here and talk about this stuff until I'm blue in the face, but it's just not going to make any sense unless I actually share my screen and show you this, because, you know, learning stuff is 85% visual, right? So I say that, and I actually share my screen, right? So I stop doing this, I go right here, and I go right here, and then I ask everybody, you know, make it big, right? And if you're doing it on your phone, it's perfectly fine as well, right? I asked them the question, you know, what will you become? How would you feel if you had total control over every aspect of your life? Me personally, I stop at this point right here because I had to take myself back. I was like, you know, me personally, when I was working at a 9 to 5, I didn't have total control over every aspect of my life, right? I had to be able to work at a certain time, work 10 to 12 hours, get told when to use the bathroom, when to eat, even if I wasn't hungry, right? And even when I got out of work, right, I actually, you know, have to plan my day accordingly because I have to actually be at home at a certain time, to go to sleep, to wake up, to go to work, right? So I was constantly thinking about my job. And then I bring up King Solomon. Like, I bring up King Solomon. What's key when you start showing the plan is having engagements in the chat box. So I'll say drop a 333 in the chat box if you ever heard of King Solomon, all right? Have people dropping threes. Some people don't drop threes. Hold on, just a second. 1 second, family. All right, perfect. So people will drop threes, some people won't, and I'll be like, you know what? You know, King Solomon is actually the richest man in biblical times, right? And he said, you know, as a man thinketh in his heart, he will be. Right? As a man thinketh in his heart, he will become. And I hated my job. I'll go back and I'll tell people I hated my job, right? Because people are sick and tired of their jobs too. You have to be relatable when you're on the Zoom call, right? So you relate to them. The first things first, you relate to them. You know, I hated my job. And as I thought inside my heart, I became. So I ended up becoming my job, being trapped there for 2 years, just working day in and day out and not thinking about the future, right? So and then I go into this, you know, I say, you know, real quick, I want to explain the 4 ways that money's being made here in America. You know, a lot of people don't even think about this type of stuff, but, you know, honestly, I think that it's very important that people understand how money is actually being made here in America. Now, this wasn't made by Jamal. This was actually made by a multiple millionaire maker, famous entrepreneur, you know, has books in the #1 best-selling, right? And I talk about Robert Kiyosaki, right? You want to bring up Robert Kiyosaki, right? Because you want to be able to show them that, you know, honestly, and if you haven't read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, you probably should, right? So I go ahead and explain a little bit about him, you know, and I say that, you know, I recommend the book. I always recommend the book Rich Dad Poor Dad on this part right here, right? I highly recommend that you guys actually go out and get the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. You can order it on Amazon, or you can listen to the audiobook for free on YouTube, right? I don't know if anybody ever does it, but, you know, if they did, they would understand why I'm breaking down this part right here, because this is the 4 ways there's money being made. So I go straight into it. You know, 60% of people work for somebody else. That means that they exchange their time and efforts for money, right? And then I also say, you know, not their efforts, their time for money. I'm sorry, their time for money, right? They go in at a job, they clock in, they get paid for the time that they're there. The moment they clock out, that's the moment that the income stops. Then you have the 35% of people. These people, you know, they kind of work for themselves. They're their own boss, right? But I say this intentionally. I say, you know, majority of the time, these people say that they started their own business. They have a business, right? They're a business owner, right? But they're not a business owner. See, and I'm gonna tell you guys exactly why, because these people right here, I start breaking down what are the people that work for themselves. I start talking about hairstylists, nail technicians, Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, people that make clothing, people that, you know, food catering, things like that. They're having a certain skill set or service that they offer for the exchange of the dollar. So now when they have clients, they have to exchange their time for whatever service that they're doing, right? And then they have to exchange their efforts as well, because if they're not good at what they're doing, they're not gonna get clients. And if they don't get clients, they don't get paid, right? So if they work 6 days throughout the week and that 5th day somebody doesn't show up, guess what? They don't get paid for the day. So all their work is dependent on themselves, right? So then I break down, and that's 95% of the population that we're talking about right now. And this is very, very important. And I say that they only make up 5% of the entire wealth in the United States. I give an analogy. That's like 95 people splitting 5 slices of pizza. And that's why there's so much world hunger today, right? And that's a fact, right? So, you know, I'll talk about that, and then I'll skip over and I'll be like, well, where's the other 95% of the wealth? All right, so over here with the 5%. See, the rich people stay on the top and the poor and middle class stay on the bottom. And then I'll also say, you know, who here can agree that the middle class has been wiped out, right? It's coming slowly to be, you know, rich people and poor people. And coronavirus had a big part to play in the wiping out the middle class, right? I tell people that, right? And then I'll go ahead and start talking about a business owner. In order to become a true business owner, one needs to have leverage and a system. And I'll tell them to write that down. Write down business owners have systems and leverage, right? Systems is an acronym meaning save yourself, stress, time, energy, and money. And I'm so sorry. I want to go back for a second. The moment I start talking about the 95% only making up 5% of the entire population, I have a notepad right here with this right here. So I recently started this. You know, I would say, okay, let's go ahead and play a game real quick, right? So skip the fact that I went over business owners just yet. I'm talking about the 95% and the 5%. After I'm done explaining that and how there's so much world hunger today, I say, let's go ahead and play a game real quick. This game is called fill in the blank, right? So I'll say all of our lives, we was taught, you know, to save our money. No, my bad. We was taught go to school to get a good blank. And I'll have everybody type that in the chat box. Go to school to get, some people will say a good job. Some people actually get it right and say a good education, right? You go to school to get a good education. And then you go to get a good education to get a good blank. And then they'll type in job, right? This is getting engagements inside the chat box. One, because you want to make sure that you're not just being super boring for the potential customer, the prospect, you know, that's for them. But for you, it's like you want to make sure that people are paying attention when you're talking, right? So then you say, you know, another blank is, you know, on the way to the top, play it blank. People will start typing in safe, right? And it happens systematically, right? And this is what most people don't even think about, you know? Then I'll say, watch out for them get rich quick blank. People start typing in schemes, right? Money can't buy you blank. Money can't buy you happiness. If it's too good to be true, it probably blank. It probably is, right? People are typing that in the chat box. Rich people all go to blank. Some people don't know this one, but they always say rich people always go to hell, right? That's the saying, right? Money doesn't grow on trees, right? Money doesn't grow on trees, right? Then I'll say, you know, work a job until you blank. This is the part that really gets people because a lot of people will start typing in die, right? Work a job until you die, right? But honestly, it's work a job until you retire. Now, if you're African American, you're a male, it's a proven fact that we die at the age 68. And the average American retires at the age 73. So it's not even designed for us to retire, all right? I break that down on the Zoom call. And then I'll tell people, you know, I'll give an analogy. Like whenever you go, this is a real fact. Whenever you go into Walmart, when people are standing by the doors, it's always the old people that's there because they found out that they couldn't even retire. A lot of people don't even end up retiring. They have to go out and work a job after they retire. 1 year after working a job, after being retired, they have to go back to work until they die. So it really is until you die, all right? I break that down so that it changes their perspective on what's happening right now. Then I start talking about, you know, the last one that I have to say is, you know, save your money for a rainy blank. And they'll say day, right? Then I'll start talking about, what was my bad, I got distracted, but, you know, I'll start talking about saving your money for a rainy day. See, I say 95% of people don't invest their money, and they're always being taught to save it for a rainy day. So they're being taught that eventually they're gonna have to spend their money. Then I say this is the last one that I have to say. You know, what is the last 3 letters of the word spend? If you're constantly spending your money, you don't have to physically type it in the chat box. Like this is for the op call, right? This is for customers, right? I mean, not customers, but this is for like prospects, right? But they'll start typing in the word end. See, if you spend all your money, it ends up coming to an end if you don't invest it. But we're not taught how to invest. Nobody in the schools and educational systems teach us how to invest, right? They don't teach us about taxes. They don't teach us about investing. They teach us how to work a job, because the 4%, they got to stay rich somehow. If everybody become a business owner, there'll be no workers. There'll be no employees. So they got to make sure that they keep a lock on the educational system to not teach us this type of stuff. That right there is probably going to sell you the whole thing. If you change somebody's perspective on the Zoom call, they'll sign up. This is the most important part of the Zoom call, because this is the perspective change, because people are so caught up in this paradigm. And when I'm done with this game, I'll say, see, it's so funny that everybody was able to answer these questions just like that. This wasn't coherent. We didn't tell you guys to say this type of stuff. This stuff was taught to us as kids, right? This stuff was taught to us as kids, and as we grew up, that created our paradigm, right? Our paradigm is habitual behavior that forms our thought process, right? So then, that's kind of important too. This is all really important that you kind of break that down, but you don't try to spend too much time on it. I'm just kind of like breaking it down for y'all, but you don't want to spend too much time out here, because you might just lose somebody staying on this cash flow quadrant, because somebody's like, well, how do I get paid type stuff, right? So then you start talking about business owners, systems and leverage, save yourself stress, time, energy, and money, right? And then you start talking about investing, right? You capitalize on investing. See, investors, they actually don't work for anything, work for money. They actually have their money work for them. See, I say money is a seed. You're supposed to plant it, water it, and watch it grow. And there's different types of investing. There's investing into real estate, investing into land, investing into artificial intelligence, stock market, cryptocurrency, forex, whatever. Foreign exchange. Don't say forex, but foreign exchange. And then you say, but this market, right? Even though we invest into forex, some people are already kind of turned off on the idea of forex, because for some reason people think that this is a scam. Like, and I just don't understand why. But I don't plan to understand why, right? But I say, foreign exchange. But this right here, this market that we're talking about, I exclude. They don't think that we're talking about forex, right? This market right here is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week worldwide. This slideshow honestly needs to be changed. But it's actually open 7 days a week, trading at $7.7 trillion a day, right? So I break down the fact that, every single living species has the same 24 hours. It's how you spend those 24 hours that determines if you're going to be rich and wealthy, right? I tell people that, yeah, you work a 9 to 5, but you have to ask yourself, what are you really doing from 5 to 9, right? So yeah, you work a 9 to 5. What are you really doing from 5 to 9? Are you being busy or are you being productive, right? I go over all that, and then I say, family, see, I'll say poor people sometimes, but honestly, you want to say lower class, because you don't want to make it sound, you don't want to be like, rude with it. But lower class people, right, they're always busy. Like, I'll even give an analogy. You ever met somebody that's always just busy, but they're always broke too? Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you don't have to say that part, but I kind of just say it. It's systematic with me now, right? Then I talk about rich people. Rich people are always productive. You don't ever see celebrities just scrolling down on social media all day. They're always doing something, and they're always being productive, right? So then I'm gonna tell you, and then I say this, I'm gonna teach you guys how to go from being busy to being productive. See, this market that we are in right now, we actually invest into high frequencies trading. This is literally time-based trading, right? I start talking about, and sometimes I'll get into this topic. Sometimes I won't, right? But I'll start talking about how, I'm very knowledgeable on Forex. So I kind of explain, that if you go to a different country, and you have to exchange your country's currency over for that country's currency. I give an analogy, like when I was working at Boeing, we'd be selling 200, $300 million airplanes to different countries, and they have to exchange their country's currency in order for it to equal out to being 100 million US dollars, because our economy is doing a lot better than other countries. Then I'll go over, all we get to do is we get to choose whether to buy or sell anytime in the market, right? Anytime in the market. And then I'll start talking about, this specific individual placed a $25 order for a call. I'll educate. You got to educate through this time, family. You don't just try to skip through the whole thing. You want to educate. They place a call. That means that you wanted to go up in value. That is this thing over here. Or they place a put. That means that you wanted to go down in value. See, guys, and I break it down. This is not stocks, right? Stocks, you have to only buy up, and you have to put your faith in that company having a good business, right? But it doesn't matter. Over here, it's recession proof. Like, if all the markets crash, we could be putting in a put, and it doesn't matter. But in 60 seconds, if this if this blue dot closes above this green line, we get an estimated profit of $42.50 in 60 seconds. I don't start talking about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I just talk about in 60 seconds, right? People like fast money, right? If the price is forecasted correctly, you win the trade, right? You'll see, congratulations, you've earned $42.50. Now, and I'll say, you're probably asking yourself, wait, how did they only put in $25 and in 60 seconds they made $42.50, right? I'll say your earnings is based off the percentages in which you invest. The broker will give you a percentage in return on top of what you invested if you win the trade. So if you invested I'll go over this whole thing right here. If you invested $10 at a 70% in return, in 60 seconds, you just earn what somebody was making 60 minutes working at a job. You got to compare all the time because 60%, more than half of the population, work at a 9 to 5. So you got to bring it back to, you have to compare to their life to what we're doing. That's what you're doing right now. You're comparing to their life, what they make in 8 hours that you just made in 60 seconds. All right? Or you just, what they made in 1 hour, 60 minutes, you just made that in 60 seconds. Now, if you invested $100 at a 70% in return, you just earned somebody's daily wage working at a job. Somebody's 8 hours, you just made in 60 seconds. If you invested $1,000 at a 70% in return, you just earned $1,700 in profit in 60 seconds. You just earned somebody's 2-week paycheck at a pretty good paying job. You just earned somebody's rent, right, monthly rent in 60 seconds. And then I tell them that you can take multiple trades to with one opportunity to win, right? So, with that being said, family, I go straight into it, guys. Hold on, give me 1 second. Because after that, that's kind of like when I'm done on this slideshow. I used to go through the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie, I used to go through the whole thing, right? Let me just show you guys what the rest of the slides say, just so you guys understand. Because if you're just going on the slideshow, it's not that effective. Like, you're just going down, you're just showing all this type of stuff. Like, okay, this is cool and all, but it's not really making sense, right? You start talking about liberty, and when I'm getting into this, guys, when I get in, and I might talk about liberty. Oh yeah, okay. So I do actually talk about liberty, right? I start talking about liberty. I'll say, I'll give an analogy. Like when I first started writing, we don't see the goal is to become not only an investor but a profitable investor. See, anybody can become an investor, but are you profitable? Right? Are you consistently profitable? See, guys, we understand that when we first started riding a bike, right? When I first started riding a bike, I fell off a 2-wheel bike, hurt my knee, and probably cried a little bit, right? And then I'll start talking about, and I needed some training wheels in order for me to have a smooth ride while I drove that bike, while I ridden that bike. See, this is the training wheels when it comes down to these markets. I talk about how we have over 12 tested and proven tools and products, which is software. This is important, right? You got to get into the more educational side right now, which is software that analyzes the markets for algorithms and patterns for highly probable trade setups, right? These are tools and products, which is softwares that scans the markets for algorithms and patterns to give you highly accurate trade setups. They have to be tested and proven over 70% in accuracy in order for it to even become a part of this platform. It has to be tested and proven over 70% in accuracy in order for it to even become a part of our platform. You need to ensure right now that they're winning more than they're losing when they're using these tools and products. And let me introduce you guys Liberty, just one of them, right? This is actually 3 highly accurate systems, and I literally read it right here. Right? I don't use Liberty myself, all right? So I don't really know too much about Liberty, all right? But I say Liberty is really 3 highly accurate systems that pinpoint targeted entries to create profits in minutes, not hours, guys. Then I go straight into it. See, when you're on your 15-minute break, 10-minute break working at a 9 to 5, you're probably logging in on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, watching somebody else's life when you could be logging into Liberty, trying to make something out of your own, right? You gotta always relate. See, because most people do that. They go on their break, they go on their smoke break, right? But and you could even bring that up. I'm actually gonna start bringing that up. Instead of smoking your life away on your 10 to 15-minute break, instead of logging in on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat, you can literally log into Liberty and make your daily wage in 15 minutes. Then I start talking about, well, there's some people on the line right now that probably doesn't believe that they can make their daily wage in 16 minutes. So let me go ahead and show you, right? This is the part that I love the most, because this is when people's heads get blown, right? This is where people's belief system goes through the roof. So I go straight to Pocket Option. You don't have to log into your account, right? I don't go to Vide Forex, right? Don't go log into IQ and do a real live trade. That's not the case right here. You want to just log into Pocket Option, all right? PocketOption.com. Hold on, my bad. Let me share my screen. That right after you explain Liberty, you want to go straight into it and show them proof. Everybody's looking for proof, right? So once you go to Pocket Option, right? You go to your damn, it still remembers I remember I started a Pocket Option for like $50 when they first started talking about HFX and blew my account. I never messed with Pocket Option again. But you want to go to your demo account, right? Once you go to your demo account, you want to go to gold. You don't want to go to USD CAD. You don't want to go to anything else. You want to go to gold, because gold always has a 92% in return, right? So then also what you want to do is you want to change it from a flag and you want to go to a minute trade. So you have a $100 trade. You tell them, like, look, I'm about to enter a trade right here. You want to enter in a call and a put. You want to enter a call and a put at the same time. So regardless if you win the trade or not, you're going to win. But see, most people, they can't see all of that. They could just see one line, all right? Now, we're not trying to deceive folks, but we're not going to sit up here and analyze the markets in front of them for a whole minute. We're just going to, no, we're going to just enter the trade at the same time, a call and a put. And we basically say if it closes above or below, in 60 seconds, we get an estimated return of $192. And we only put in 100 in 60 seconds. So while you're at your break, you could have got something from Liberty, right? Or Hourglass. So you do all of this. You wait. If it closes underneath this red line right here, you start talking, in 60 seconds, we get an estimated return of $192. Now, this is the cool thing about Pocket Options, because when you win the trade, regardless of if you win, what's going to happen is, most of the time that wouldn't have popped up, but it would have just been, congratulations, you've earned $192. And that just happened in 60 seconds. So in 60 seconds, you would have just earned more than your daily wage working at a job. This is when people's heads get blown, right? Right? So after you're done with that, you would go straight into, and I'm not going to do all that right now, but you're going to go straight into the IM.Center. You want to have IM.Center opened up. You want to have Hourglass.im opened up, and you want to have GoLive.im opened up. You want to have those 3 websites already opened up before you start the call. Because instead of going through this, see, this is where most people mess up. They'll start going through this and they'll only start talking about, Liberty. They'll go through these slideshows and they're not being effective because they're not showing it for real. Yeah, these are, you start going through the academy, these are over 100+ pre-recorded videos from these educators. They're like, all right, that's cool and all, but why don't you show me? All right, so you want to log in and you want to go to the HFX section and just scroll through and show them all the videos, because you want to say there's somebody that's analytical that's on the call that wants to kind of, after I'm done explaining this, right? Because after I'm done explaining this and I show them a live trade, I'll actually go to Hourglass.im and show them, and I'll leverage the heck out of CashTrap. I'll say this is the thing that we're using right now. This is literally having people. This is overnight. It's been tested and proven these past 6 months to be over 92% in accuracy. Over 92% in accuracy, right? In these past 6 months, and that's why you're seeing so much success today. And we can end this slideshow right now, and you guys will have success in this market through these tools and products. But there's some other type of learner. There's somebody that's like more analytical, wants to learn how everything works for themselves. And then that's when I will go to the IM.Center. I'll go to IM.Center and go to the Academy section right here. Then I'll go and find the HFX side, right? And then I'll show them all the videos that actually break things down from our top educators, millionaire traders that already been successful in these markets, teaching us exactly how to do that. But then there's a third type of learner. Then I'll go to Go Live, right? I'll go to Go Live, and I'll go to the actual Go Live Academy, and I'll be like, there's a third type of learner that's a little bit more hands-on, a little bit more dependent, right? Needs more special type of help, right? And there's nothing wrong with that at all, because there was 3 types of classes in school. There was the first class that was, people that needed some type of special education, right? Then you have the normal people that just needed to learn the information. Then you have the overachievers, the people that would be successful in anything they did in their life, and they got into a different type of classroom, right? So there's always different types of learners, and we accommodate to all of them. You want to show confidence in what it is that we got going on. I showed confidence when I was talking about, Liberty. I showed extreme confidence when I was talking about Cash Trap. I show confidence when I'm talking about the Academy by our millionaire traders. Then I talk about Go Live. I start showing all their faces and stuff. You'll see Millie Mills, Kimberly Torres, Delano. You'll see D.L. Woods, Matthew Thayer. You'll see all of them. And then I start talking about how, these individuals actually became millionaires out of this platform and told our CEO, Christopher Terry. See, I start talking about the real spiel. You need to make sure that you're the person that they need to talk to. You need to make sure that you got all the information. I talking about the CEO, and I know his name. Our CEO, Christopher Terry, and told him, like, hey, we already made millions of dollars off this. If you pay us a little more money, we'll actually teach it. You'll actually teach your students, right? You want to start talking about students and stuff like that. Don't say customers on the call, all right? Say students, right? Because this is an academy, right? So, this is an educational platform. We'll teach your students how to become successful off of our secret strategies, and he actually paid them. So now they're getting paid to go on live now, and I'll go through I'll go to the HFX section, not the Forex section, the HFX, and I'll show them all the Go Live that they're on. And I'll show them, like, look, there's not a day on this schedule besides Saturday when they do not get on live. So every single day, you can start becoming productive and not busy. You go right back into that. Right? And then I'll show them something else. And then I'll say, you know what? There's some people on the line that just needs to hear more special information. All right? I'll actually do this. I'll do this exactly right here. All right? This is something that if you guys are building the business, if you guys are showing the plan, do not show the plan if you're not in this group chat right here. All right? Don't even think about showing the plan until you get into this group chat right here. All right? So I come right here, start sharing my screen. Go, hold on, just a second. Let me go ahead and go to Telegram, open that up. So I have a group chat where all the success stories in the organization, I need some help with that. If you guys want to help me out with that, I would love it, because that's a lot of, we're having so much success right now. It's just like, sheesh, like, So I have this group chat right here. This one. We have 135 subscribers in here. So what happens is I'll show them, like, this is a group chat that we have, and we show all the success. I'll start talking about how Javante, 2 jobs right now. And I explain all of this because I need everybody to understand it doesn't matter what background you come from, you can be successful in this. Javante started with us 2 weeks ago, right? Clocked in at his job and made, $85 in 60 seconds working on his job. I say this came from him. And the good thing about it is that, family, we're not leveraging, anybody else in, the organization's IROC. Okay, so anybody else in the organ, I show them this is currency control. This is currency control. Good morning, I just clocked in, I'm already doing my thing. See, we taught him how to be more productive with his time, and now he's making $85. How many hours would you have to work for that in 60 seconds? Then I start talking about how Mari goes 70% in accuracy. I start talking about how Jack, made in 1 minute. This came from him. He literally typed this in here, right? Made 1 minute utilizing the tools and products, made $665 in 60 seconds. That blows people's minds. Start talking about Dave, mother of 3, right? Mother of 3. Got started trading. I go over the time that she started trading at 9:03 and stopped trading at 9:10. So in 7 minutes, right, she made 100. And I go ahead and explain. Yes, she did lose 1 trade. In this, you do lose some trades, right? I tell people that right then and there. But she made 100, 200, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I start counting them. I already know I did this presentation a bunch of times, but I still count them just like that. She made $800 in 7 minutes. And I stop right here. I say, go ahead and type in the chat box right now where you can go and push a button and make $665.60 or $800 in 7 minutes, and I'll end the whole live right now. Nobody's going to do it. Nobody will type anything in the chat box because nobody knows where you're going to push a button one time and make $665.60. Nobody knows where you can go and make $800 in 7 minutes by pushing some buttons. All right? Nobody's going to do that. So then I continue, right? Because nobody ends up doing that. Demetrius, 20 and 6, utilizing system, $346.60. I tell them this did not come from me. This is coming from her own mouth. Same group chat, currency control at the top. This is coming from her own mouth. Most she made in one trade. Let's go. Currently 20 and 6. Then I asked them a question. If we showed you how to make 20 trades and win, but you lost 6, would you be happy? All right. I start talking about Ureli going 10 and 0. I go through the whole thing. Celeste, 255. So much success stories are happening within the organization. You know, Brianna, I started talking about Brianna. You know, Brianna, she hit me up, right? She said that she accidentally made an hour-long trade and still won the trade. I said, how much did you make, sis? She said $401. Let's go, right? She wanted it to be for 1 minute, but our system is so OD. She placed a trade for an hour and still won the trade. That gives people confidence. I tell people that these are all different names. Shout out to Javante. He stayed down for the come up. He quit one of his jobs. Javante just quit one of his jobs. I go through all of this, family. Andrew, second day trading with us, $279.20 and 20 minutes. $279.20. Megan, $287.20. I start going through it all, and guess what? The more you start going down, the bigger the success stories start going. All right. Andrew making $811 in less than an hour. You got, you know, Natalie getting started with us a week ago, $400 in 60 seconds. You got Tati, 3-0 using our master educators. I start leveraging the master educators as well. Right? Louise running up $761 off 3 clicks of a button. Natalie again made $965 in 1 hour. Brianna, a little over $900 made today, $429 in profit. Right? I start going through it all. Right? Everybody, right? Brianna, $900 in 60 seconds. I start showing the message itself. This came from her. She texted me and said this. Sniper game. What, $900 in one trade? Yes, sir. One trade, 1 minute. I show them that happened in 1 minute. Came from her own mouth. All right? Keep going. You're going to start seeing more. Jack, $2,600 last night. The more you keep going down, the bigger it goes. Fred, $4,600 in 30 minutes. Right? Hannah, been plugged in 2 weeks now, going 12 and 15, making $548. Look, you're showing social proof. I'm showing everybody's success that's happening, guys. Javari made $5,600 in total today. It just keeps going up because people are compounding their money. So then after I show them all this, because I'm showing them all different names too. You want to stress that you're showing everybody's things. And guess what, guys? Same group chat. But guess what? When we first started this whole thing, when I was showing, you know, Javante's, we only had 164 people. Now we've grown to over 225 people impacting lives all throughout the world. We're showing people that people from all walks of life are literally getting started with this every single day. Then I stop, right? I stop, and I actually, hold on. I think I need to stop recording. But I stop and I share my face, and I get my face on the line, and I reassure them, like, guys, this is not something that we think is going to work. This is not something that we're just like, oh, we're just trying to test out to see if it works. This is something that's been tested and proven multiple times. People are leaving their jobs on a day-to-day basis because we're literally having the blueprint. We created the blueprint to allow average individuals coming from all walks of life literally coming in here and having massive success. Now, do you need to quit your job in order to do this? Absolutely not. But see, us millennials, a lot of us millennials don't like working a 9 to 5, and we found the way out. Like I said, guys, this is not something that we think is going to work. This is something that's been tested and proven to work, right? But we have 3 different types of people that's on the line right now. All right, I don't go back to the slideshow at all. After I'm done showing Liberty, I don't go back to the slideshow. I show them all physical proof. All right. The first type of person is somebody that's extremely skeptical. Somebody that hopped off the line right now. Like I'll remember the time where I started to the time where I ended. Now, I'm like, see, there was 20. I remember there was 21 people that were on this call when it first started. Now we have 17 people. Right. 4 people thought that there was something better to do than to hear this information. All right. Somebody probably got skeptical, right, when they heard this information, and they missed out on the blessing. They missed out on everything that I just showed you guys, right? But look, we're not planning to have everybody join. I'm only looking for 1, maybe 2 people that's listening to everything that I said, took some very valuable notes, and is serious about changing their life. And if I can impact 2 people tonight, I'll be extremely grateful. If I can impact 1 person tonight and change their life forever, I'm extremely grateful, right? Then I start talking about, and if you are that type of skeptical person, you can actually hop off the line right now, but just reach out to somebody else that would like to make $5,600 in one night. That'll like to make $4,600 in one night, $2,000 in one night. Reach out to somebody else that'll like making, $900 off the click of a button. They might take this more seriously. And the thing is, guys, you might be writing up, that you might hit that person up, and they might actually get started. And the difference is 2 years later, you're going to be pulling up to the red light, and it'll be you in the same car that you've been driving for these past 2 years. And they're going to be pulling up to a red light, and they're going to be pulling up in a Porsche. And you're like, dang, that thing that it was real. Yeah, yes, it was real. But there's a B type of person that's on the line, right? That B type of person is somebody that is ready to get started. They're fired up. They heard this information. They're ready to go. They know this stuff works, but they have a couple of questions in order for them to feel really comfortable about getting started with us. And for that B type of person, I want you to actually go out and thank the person that got you on this line, because they did not have to put you on with this life-changing information, and ask that person, yo, I have a couple of questions. Do you think you can get on the phone? Right? You got to give them a plan of action. You got to give them something to do after this call. Because if you don't, they're just going to be waiting for you to reach out to them. No, you reach out to the person that got you on the call and ask them, how can I get started? Or I got a couple of questions that I need answered. But then there's a C type of person. I glorify the C type of person, right? I start talking about the C type of person. I start saying, the C type of person, the third type of person on the line tonight, is somebody that, I was told by my millionaire mentor. I break this down all the time. I was told by my millionaire mentor, which I was, that successful people make decisions very, very fast and change them slow, hardly if ever, right? And the C type of person has a successful mindset. They're ready to go. They're fired up. They already know how this works, and they're ready to go right now. And I tell them, drop a bag in the chat box if you're ready to get to the bag right now. Everybody starts dropping bags in the chat box, right? Then I'll be like, you know what? Go ahead and reach out to that person right now and thank them for getting on the call, for having you get on the call, because they could have reached out to anybody, and actually ask them, how do I get started? We don't go through the prices. We don't go through, and I mean, pretty soon, I think, that's besides the point, but we don't go over the prices. We don't go over 2 and free. We don't go over the comp plan. We don't go over anything like that. We just show the information so we can close them on the 3-way. But if you do not be effective on this presentation, and this is what happens so many times, if you're not showing everything that I just told you guys to do on this presentation, what's going to happen is you're going to have a 3-way happen, and the person that does a 3-way, that mentor, is going to have to show the plan on the phone. You need to make sure that you're being effective and showing them the whole thing and the whole spiel while you're on the Zoom call, so that by the time you're even on the 3-way, they're just signing up, join success. But more times than not, I've been on 3-ways and like, well, I just need a little bit more information. Now if you show a plan like this and they're still like, well, I need a little bit more information, perfect. hey, Kai, I see you right now. So, hey, Kai, do you think that you can actually get on Zoom with this individual and log in and show her the whole platform and add her to our exclusive Telegram chat? Add her to our exclusive Telegram chat. Don't just let them get off the call and they go back to their social media. No, you download Telegram and you get added to that group chat. And I'm gonna drop the group chat link in the chat box. So you guys, if you guys have any hold on. I'm gonna drop it in the chat box and link to that group chat that I was showing you with all the success stories. Because if you guys have anybody that is willing to get started, but they just need a little bit more information, perfect. Add them to this group chat. So that every single time they're just seeing everybody's success. But if you guys can, just reach out to me individually because I do need help with that. Like I can't drop everybody's success stories, but I do want to, so that everybody can see that everybody's really getting paid. Just let me know if you guys are like down to do that for me. I appreciate it like a lot, for real. But you know, with that being said, I say, you know what? With that being said, you know, that's all. I didn't want to be long tonight. I just wanted to be strong. You know, I know I was on the call for, you know, sometimes you can be on the call for 45 minutes. Sometimes you're on the call for 30 minutes. You know, don't try to have it be longer than 45 minutes because you can lose a lot of people. But some people that's really analytical. I'm very analytical myself. So my op calls are really long. Like, I know they try to say like keep it, you know, thank you, Chelsea. I appreciate you. Yeah, you'll definitely be good for that for sure. But the people that's really serious that's on the line, see, some people are like, you know what? You know, we should have the op call be like 15 to 20 minutes. But the people that's really serious, they want to hear this thing for real. Like, they don't want to be sold nothing sweet. See, if you're on the call for 15 to 20 minutes, you're selling somebody something. If you're on the call for like 30 minutes, you're educating somebody on something. There's a big difference. We're educators, not, you know, we're doing sales. We're definitely in the sales industry, but we're not selling anything if we don't educate people on the price. I mean, on the products. This isn't Montclair. This isn't Neiman Marcus. They already know what they're coming in the shop for. But with this market, people don't even know about it. So you need to educate them before you even sell them anything, because they don't need to get off the call like, yeah, no, this was one of those things for sure. They need to get off the call, and if they don't get started, it's because they don't have enough money to get started right now. They need to get off the call like, you know what, that stuff is real. I seen it with my own. That stuff is real. If anybody ever says anything on Facebook, anything on Instagram, they already know that this is real. So with that being said, guys, you want to just thank them, you know, and say, you know, reach out to me or the person that got you on this line, and I'll be more than happy to plug you guys in. But with that being said, God bless you, your family, and your dreams, right? And then you just go ahead and end the line. But yeah, guys, that's basically it. I'm about to stop this recording right now. For everybody that's gonna be seeing the call in the future, you know, this is how you guys show the plan. This is how you guys actually effectively show the plan. And thank everybody that was on the line tonight. Thank everybody that's gonna be in the future watching this. Send your notes to your mentor. Send your notes to your mentor after you're watching this call so that they know that you're serious and you're ready to go. But